Hi, this is Sylvia of Colorful Foresight, where we intuitively connect from within. And I have Shari H from Voices from the Swamp. So
Hi,
today
everybody.
it's purely intuition. Gonna tap into some of the cards and a little bit of the mediumship. Um, so we're gonna focus on the moon. Here's the moon. And what are you feeling from that, Shari? In far as like political enlightenment, any
Hold that
message?
back up. Hold that card back up. There we go. Okay, well, to start with, the first thing you notice is she is underwater. Water is emotion, that's raw feelings. And in a way, it almost feels like she's being weighed down with emotion. But yet, the moon, which, while most of the time is determined to be a way to hide things, if you look at that picture, the moonbeams are coming down directly on her, enlightening her, showing her where to go to get out from under all of that fluid emotion that she's flowing in. You've got your light and your dark wolves that are howling at the moon from their posture. That's what it appears they're doing. So, as in all things, we have the good and the bad. We have good and evil, right and wrong, left and right, whatever you want to call it. Um, and yeah, we can get so weighed down in our emotions that it feels like we're drowning. And that's kind of what her picture looks like she was drowning. But at the same time, the moon wasn't hiding her position, it was illuminating her position so that the wolves that are on the shore can see that she is below needing help as she's starting to reach up to grasp the moonbeams. It almost feels like it almost feels like she's going to grasp that moonbeam that's coming straight down, and it's going to be what picks her up. Like if you grab a pole or a rope for somebody to pull you out of the water. That's what it looks like, that moonbeam coming down through the water, the way it's hitting her, right where her hands are. Like she'll be able to grasp that moonbeam and pull herself out from under all of this weight emotion. And then I had pulled a moonology card to go with it for the moon. And I pulled Blue Moon, Believe in the Impossible. So when you're drowning under emotion that has you so tied up that you can't breathe, it's learning to believe in the impossible that will help pull you out of it.
That's interesting. I was saying like it feels like a heavy energy, but you said illuminating. So it feels like
It
what
didn't feel heavy. The card didn't, I mean, and normally I would look at that and think, that's a heavy card, but it didn't feel heavy this time. It felt, like I said, illuminating because the moonbeams were coming down through the water directly onto her. Like they were illuminating
like you
her.
felt
They were showing her how to get out, pulling her out of it.
like liberating.
Liberating, that's a good word. Yes. Yes. That's a good word.
Yeah.
Um,
No, the way you described it felt heavy, and then you were talking about illumination. So I felt like, oh, then it's like a liberation feeling. So obviously, what's happening in political enlightenment, I feel like anything that people were trying to hide in the government, especially in the USA, but whatever the USA do is going to affect the whole world.
yeah.
All this illumination, as you mentioned, from the dark and the
Yeah.
light,
I
it's going to
think
be very liberating.
I think we as a people, not just in our country but around the world, have become so weighed down in emotion over all that has happened for the last, what, 7, 8 years, especially in the last couple of years. But while the moon symbolizes illusion, hiding things, they can't hide from the light of a full moon. And that was a full moon shining its light down on the problems, shining the light down on the people, saying, here's the truth. Now you need to grasp it, and you need to pull yourself out from underneath all that you thought was fact, when in actuality it was lies. And I think that as more and more information comes to light, as more and more people testify, it's going to become very hard to stay hidden, because the everything is going to be more and more illuminated.
How you feel that that could be enlightening? Like how that could help with political enlightenment as far as like going forward to 2024 and beyond? What did you feel, spirit?
Well, I think for a lot of people, it's going to mean, I mean, for a large amount of people, it's going to be like a breath of fresh air. Finally, the truth is coming out. What I've known, what I've felt all this time, is finally coming to light. It's finally being dealt with. Um, those that caused the harm, those that performed the harm, those that um, planned and set into motion all that harmed us, and not just us in America, but around the world. I mean, it's happening everywhere. There's this strong push of total authoritarian control, and we've had the Ukrainian people show the whole world what it means to stand up and fight for what's right. And they have everything to lose, far more than what a lot of us do, because we're not in a place where we're being bombed, you know, at least not yet. Um, but for those of us who believe in moving forward in inclusion, in accepting everyone as they are for who they are, and loving them just the way they are, um, I think it's very enlightening. It's very illuminating that other people are finally waking up to that.
It's interesting you said that because I think in the beginning of the video you said something about we the people, and what card came up with the five of cup. I mean, five of sword in reverse. So when you have it upward, people are suffering from the mental. Look at, you could think of the crow at all the disinformation we've been receiving.
Yeah.
I see, like you were saying, what Ukraine has offered, but what's been going on. So part of the political enlightenment for this video is not about a politician per se. It's about we the people
Mm-hmm.
having our mind more cleared from all the BS. And you mentioned the moon, where you, I felt like with heavy, but you're like, no, 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 it's actually being liberated. So that goes perfect with this card, like being liberated from all the nonsense.
Yeah.
And so this week is all about that. That's the political enlightenment and the lift. It's
Well, and that's us. That's the Empress is birthing. She is birthing our new world. She is. She is. She is heavy with child, so to speak. She's very pregnant with what's to come, what's possible, what we can become as a people when we are willing to accept everyone as they are, and when we start holding our political leaders to account. You know, we most people get elected in by hook, crook, or whatever way they can. Um, for those that have lied and cheated their way into office, it's time for them to be illuminated for what they've done and to pay that price and be replaced. Um, for those that, and now here I'm going to go into this is Shari talking my opinion as just an American. Those that were involved in J6, whether if they were there, whether if they were the ones fighting, whether if they were the ones just planning it or setting it up or paying for buses to haul people there and back, everyone who was involved in that needs to pay a price for that, because that was not just against a political movement, that was against our country as a whole and what our country stands for. And our country is supposed to stand for truth and freedom and the American way, which is supposed to be truth and freedom. That you can be anyone you want to be if you work hard enough for it. That you're not stuck in the same class system that you were born into. This is also the only country in the world that you can come from anywhere else and come here and become an American. You can go to Germany and become a German citizen, but you're not a German because that's a biological thing. You know, you can go to China and join their political ways of being and become a Chinese citizen, but that doesn't make you Chinese because you don't have any of that DNA in you to be a Chinese. America is the only country in the world, United States of America. You can be from anywhere, anybody, any mix, anything. You can come to this country and become an American. You know, that's a big difference.